Hey, what's up, guys? If you're just joining in, we're going to do a little live stream here. A little PolkaDot. Had some bullish technicals just occur. Daily close above 23 bucks. Yeah, this is super bullish. Super, super bullish. We had a daily close above a higher time frame. It was the $23 level that I was looking for, which was set back on February 8th. So now the next target we're going to look for here, if you take a look at the hourly, let's take a look at the MACD, right? MACD super bullish. EMAs, they're bullish too. You've now got a cross of the 34 above the 55. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So in the 4 hour, you're going to have a cross pretty soon. The 20 is going to cross the 34 here in the next, call it 24 hours. But something that I like here is the MACD is bullish now. The MACD is turned up in the 4 hour. Let's look at the daily. Let's see where the MACD is on the daily. Ooh, one more day on that MACD, and that's going to be a bullish cross. Down here. Let's see what's going on. Twitters. Look at that. Let's see, nothing crazy. NFTs coming to PolkaDot. That's great. So someone's got. Nothing new here. People are just waking up that parachain is coming. That's good news. So nothing's changed, it looks like. It's just we've got bullish technicals. You closed above the $23 line. Now we're going to look for a close above this 0.5 fib retracement zone. Above 28 would be great, right? This is 26. So we can get above 28 here. I think this was another daily time frame here. Yeah, this is a significant daily time frame close. So if we close above 28, that would be fantastic. In the next couple days, 3 days, say that. And then you start closing above these EMAs on the daily, right? And you're starting to get in bullish territory. And once these things are going to start to smooth out, right? So the 55 is going to be right here about 31. If you close above 31, then you're really getting in a bullish pattern here in dot. Super bullish. See if I can get some more people on this stream. It's actually following my line pretty neatly. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to make a post on TradingView while this is running, just so you know. So I'm going to do a little quick update here. Okay, just making a post on TradingView, letting everyone know that the daily closed above 23 bucks. This is actually pretty significant in my opinion. Okay, I just posted an update. See what's going on. Crypto panic. Bullish news for XRP. Hey, what's up? How's it going now? Yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Just go ahead and type it in the chat. Yeah. Probably DOT first. So basically in DOT, you've got a bullish crossover on the hourly, and then the 4 hours already it's bullish as well on the MACD. So the next thing to happen for DOT, and you're also above the EMA ribbons on the 4 hour, which is actually super bullish. We're testing it right now, obviously, but the fact that we crossed above was super bullish. I love this action here. We just sliced right through, one by one. These ribbons are, you've got the 20 and the 20 EMA in the red, 34 in the green, 55 in the blue. So we sliced right through it. That was super bullish. I didn't expect that, but we did. And the next thing we're going to look for is on a daily. So on the daily time frame, we're looking for this MACD bullish crossover, which is going to happen in the next 24 hours. When that occurs, we're going to see some pretty big upside here. I expect this thing to head to 31 plus in the next day. So that's DOT. And then when the news drops for pair chains, so DOT's having a pair chain auction. I mean, there's no telling how high this goes. I have a price target of $80. So as soon as that news comes out, this thing's heading straight to 80. It's going to do something like this, right? News isn't out yet, right? But bullish crossover in the MACD, head to 31. Come back down, retest maybe this zone here, the 28 level, $26 level, the 0.5 fib retracement. Then the news pops, right? The news drops from Gavin Wood's Twitter account. Let's just say it happens this day. It's going straight to 80 like that. So I'm the most bullish on DOT right now out of all three, the ones that you just mentioned, by the way. But obviously, I don't know if you watched my TA, but I do like Link and Uni and Sol too. I do like Sol. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana. So Solana's looking good here. Got a little bit of a bearish cross down in the hourly MACD. It's not a bad sign. It just means you'll probably trend sideways or come back down and test this EMA ribbon. So you might have a downside to 31.43 in Sol. Let's take a look at the four. Let me actually let me zoom out here first. Let's do a retracement on my fib. So first things first, let's go to the daily candle look. Okay. Let's do a fib retracement. Boom. Okay, so we're above the 0.5 fib retracement level. That's pretty good. I like that. It shows some strength in the coin. You're still not above your EMAs, right? Your EMAs in the daily, which it's not bearish. It just means, we're coming up to test it. And I like that the bands, see how the bands are squeezing together right here? The same thing in DOT, by the way. I'll show you in DOT in a second, but it's the same thing there. You're getting a squeezing of these bands they're coming, together right here. These will start to come together too. They're spread out now, but once dot comes through, you'll see them squeeze together. But this is bullish. I like this in Sol. So if we cross above here, then your next target's going to be this fib zone, the 0.236 at 44. Look for something like this, right? You come into this fib zone, crossover, test down, right? Then maybe something like this, over the next few days. And then once you reliably close a candle above here, come down and test, right? Maybe you can go back to all-time highs if Bitcoin's playing nice, right? This all depends on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin obviously just sells off, right, then this gets invalidated, but I don't think that's going to occur in Bitcoin. So that's Sol for you. Your first target price. I mean, you're going to come above here to 36, right? You're going to come back down and retest this 0.382 fib line. You might shop around here for a couple of days, right? While these bands continue to tighten. And then you're going to head back up to this new fib zone here, the 0.236, and then test that, right? And then you're going to head to your zero, your complete retracement. Yeah, so on the fib extension tool, which is a little bit different than your fib retracement, right? This is your next price target, and then this is your next price target. So 39.75 and then 52.53. Those are your two price targets you should be looking for over the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, by the end of June, I'd say. As long as Bitcoin continues to stay bullish, which I'm hoping, right? Okay, next one you said link. Oh yeah, let me answer you. You want to get a good entry in school, but it doesn't seem like what's going. Yeah, I mean, let me take a look at the hourly. Right now you're testing the 0.5. I think that's the top of the 0.5 fib line. So, I mean, you might get a retesting of these EMAs, but I think as best you'll get in the 1 hour candles here is 31. Let's take a look at the 4 hour real quick just to confirm. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like it's going to rest here on this 55 EMA. And you're about to get across here. I think that's the 20. It's about to cross the 34. So, once that happens, your technicals start turning bullish, right? And you've got a MACD crossover here already that occurred about, 24 hours ago, it looks like. So, or 18, something like that. So the thing is it's looking more and more bullish every day in Sol. But remember, DOT's going to have a lot higher upside than Sol, even though, Sol's a great, coin to have. What would you rather have? Something that's going to go, let's say from here to there, it's an 83% return, right? Whereas DOT's going to go from here to here, in a matter of 3 weeks, 300% return, right? So it's a matter of, risk and reward. I think DOT is the most bullish fundamentally. I don't know if you've heard my fundamental case on DOT, but you're going from 1,000 transactions per second overnight to 100,000. There's nothing currently that exists in the entire crypto space that has 100,000 transactions per second. Not even Visa. Visa, which is a centralized entity, can only do 60,000 TPS. And that's not even DOT's fastest. Once DOT starts rolling out parachains and parathreads, more of them, it scales to 1 million transactions per second. So this is why I'm so bullish on DOT. It's the future. I'm not saying that Solana and Ethereum are going to go away. They're not. you know, they're going to grow with other ecosystems. It's kind of like how Google, Apple, Microsoft, right? They all exist together and they grew together and they got bigger. They grew the pie together. And I think the same thing's going to happen here. You're going to have Solana, you're going to have Ethereum, you're going to have PolkaDot. They're all going to grow the pie together. But near-term catalyst, Dot's the strongest. But I'll do the TA anyways on these other ones you asked. It's another one. I like that. You can see I've done some TA on this one. These are old lines, so kind of ignore these for now. Let me get a clean sheet. Oh, this is interesting. Where is this line from? Oh, wow. This is a trend line all the way from September 2020. Oh, that's cool. And we're testing it literally right this second. I drew that line like months ago. It's crazy. It's crazy how these lines come back into play. So let's see. Let me zoom out on the daily here. Let's do a fib retrace. Let's start here. Technically supposed to start here, but that's a scam wick, so I'm not going to use that. Come on. There we go. Okay. So you're currently in the 0.5 to 0.382 fib zone. It's pretty bullish. I like that. You've got a cross in the daily on Link already, right? You got a cross in the MACD down here. That's really bullish. It means Link's about to take off much quicker right now. Can't talk. Let's see. Let's do a fib extension. So your next price target, 38. Next one after that, 54. 54, 38. Boom. 39 basically. Those are your next two price targets for Link. Now let's look at Uni. Uni also MACD cross in the daily. Very bullish. Very, very bullish. You're inside your 0.5 to 0.382 zone right now. It's just bullish that you're coming back up the retracement zones. That's always bullish. You're about to cross over on your daily EMAs, just like Chainlink was. Another bullish technical sign. You don't have a cross in the EMA yet, but you're going to get one eventually. I mean, so the MACDs are bullish. The EMAs aren't exactly bullish yet. Let me see. Yeah, so we don't have any crosses here. It's okay though. I mean, it's going to move higher. So your next price target is going to be something like here. We'll take out the extension tool. So your next price target in Uni is going to be 31, and then your 1618, 42. Biggest bag is dot and link. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's no reason for you to really diversify into Uniswap right now in the short term, because Link is basically the same play. Link and Uni go together. Link moves quicker than Uniswap, by the way, and then Dot used to be the leader, right? So a few months ago, Dot moved before Link and Uni. Now it's Link is the leader, Uni second, and Dot is third. But the thing is that's going to change for PolkaDot, because once PolkaDot releases, parachains, it's going to be game over. I mean, it's just going to rocket higher. Looking at Link ETH and Link ADA up here, this is starting to outperform the headline. Yeah, a lot of people are theorizing that Chainlink will have another summer, right? I don't put a lot of stock into that. I just think it's going to perform well. I think ADA is going to perform well too, by the way. I can take a look at the chart, but I don't think there's any correlation here. Data chart, but I don't see any correlation between the two. I think they're independent, and I think both are going to do well. So I do like Chainlink. So if you hold Chainlink, just continue holding it. If you hold ADA, continue holding that. But I'm more bullish short term on Dot, medium term on Dot, and I think long term Chainlink and Dot perform the same. So do with that what you will. But I do like this daily MACD cross and Uni and Link. That's awesome. Which, remember, Dot's going to do that too, right? We've got one more day. It's going to do that. You're going to have a swap here on the MACD. Let's look at the EMAs on the 4-hour for Uni and Link. I'm sure they're getting bullish. Yeah, see how this red 20 EMA is crossing above? You're crossing above your 34. And you're crossing above the 55 right now. You've already made a cross, which next 4-hour candle, that's going to be above. So that's good. Let's take a look at Link. Same thing in Link, although Uni's actually a little more bullish on the EMA. So we already had a cross on the red 20 going over the blue 55. But this is still bullish. You've got the 20 crossing above the 34, and it's going to cross above the 55 soon. If you remember looking at Dot. Just go right here. So you see how Dot's a little bit behind them, right? You got the red 20 still below the 34, but it's going to get there. That red 20 is going to cross above the 34 in the next 24 hours or so. So, and the close above the $23 time frame on the daily. Here, I'll show you this daily candle I'm talking about. Here it is, right here, February 8th. Close price $23. What did we close at here on 31st? $23.30. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of in my opinion, this is a once in a lifetime buy here on Dot. I mean, you're getting in before they roll out parachains that we know are coming out in the next 48 to 72 hours. At least the unstaking will be announced, right? Once that unstaking is announced, there's 7 days to the auction, which it doesn't matter, right? As soon as they announce the unstaking, you've effectively already started the time clock, the countdown timer for auctions to go live, right? So, and this is a pitchfork that I drew, by the way, just to show you how oversold we are in Dot. We've come way down below this heart line. So your heart line is typically where you retrace to after a sell-off, right? So this is just another indicator tool to show you kind of where we're headed, right? So the heart line's at 38 bucks. So that's kind of the, according to the Pitchfork analysis, that's the next price target, short term. And then obviously longer term, you're going to get up here, right? In the $100, $200 time frame. It could even be, you know, let's say by year end. This is what's cool about this Pitchfork. By year end, you could be here at $1,200 in DOT. So let's go on crypto markets. Point market cap. Doge is flat, so well, it's up 13% today. Yeah, you got pretty good, pretty good returns the last 24 hours. Everything's pretty much up in green. We got And let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and type it in the chat if you're just joining in. We're just doing a little TA on PolkaDot, our favorite coin. To launch parachains here in the next couple days. Something that's going to take the market by surprise. No one's pricing it in, actually. It's really funny. The other thing is you've broken the trend line here with the daily close, right? Which is great. The downtrend line here, you closed above it, plus you closed above the higher daily time frame support. Now what we need is a higher body outside this downtrend zone to close above the body to close above the entire trend line here, which would be great. And what would be even better is if you get above this 0.5 fib line at 26, right? And then you close, you have a higher high established, and you start getting a bullish pattern, which I think will come in the next 24 hours because we'll get this MACD cross to happen. Once that crosses, it's going to take off. And that's definitely going to cross the next day. Next XRP starting to take off. That's good. Here's the most bullish news so far. It's fucking bears. And they try to pretend like they're not a bear.
Just based off of just natural market behavior. But, maybe with institutions, perhaps we don't see something like that. But I think, human behavior applies on all levels. So that's the way I kind of see it, that, unless we were to pump, like let's say we pumped and then we had, another cool off for a month or two. And then we pumped and then we had another cool off for a month or two. Like, that kind of price action would be what I would think of as a super cycle. Like, when I think of super cycle, it's not that we would just go in a vertical straight line up from here. It would be more of this, we pump, cool off, pump, cool off. But due to the human behavioral aspect of it, I don't see that happening. I don't see how the exuberance and just greed is going to not kick in towards the end of the cycle. But, I could be wrong.
One thing I was even thinking about was not with all the institutions, even just the halving cycle itself might be different now that people obviously come to expect the halving of the supply. There might be even a change in the bull runs themselves.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I brought that up to a few people before. Like, we have all these price models, stock to flow model, all the on-chain stuff. When Bitcoin gets so entrenched to the legacy financial system and gets so much attention this cycle, I don't see how coming up to the next halving, people aren't saying, okay, this has happened 4 times now. We're approaching this next halving. Let's go ahead and take a position. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, but I just don't see how you wouldn't have any front running. Or maybe you could also say, okay, maybe it becomes this self-fulfilling thing that we've had the 4-year cycles where, because we haven't seen, front running like to that magnitude before, maybe we don't see that because people are looking at just fractals. But I personally, I'm with you. I think it plays a part. Because you're already seeing like the stock to flow model in Forbes, and I'm sure a lot of hedge fund managers have seen it.
Will, are you going to the Bitcoin conference in Miami?
I'm not, man. I was gonna go because I was working with Bitcoin Magazine, but no, I'm not. So I had a free ticket, but now I don't. So I don't have I think they're sold out, by the way, but I don't have the $1,300 to put up for a ticket. I'd rather stack sats. What about you, John? You going?
No, I'm not going to it. Same thing. I'm not paying $1,300 for a ticket when I could just invest it.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is like, if anything, I would just go and pull up for the satellite events, like everything going on after the conference itself. And the conference is cool, but if you want to link up with anybody, you'll be able to link up with them after the fact. And I think it's just going to be a lot of stuff where, I get that if you're not there, sometimes you can't get the full experience. But any big speeches are going to be, recorded, and you'll be able to hear back after. It's not like anybody's going to be giving any information that we don't know already. It's just, I feel like it's just this big echo chamber almost, where we're all just like echoing everything that we already all know. Which I'm sure it'll be a great event. But yeah, I don't. Other than, maybe that whale night thing where you can kind of like mix and match with people who are looking to get like deeper, connections and networking, and they're paying up for those whale to passes, which are like 11 grand or something. I think maybe those people would be worth it to go to the event, but I don't think the just regular event. And it's too many people, dude. Like, I'm an introvert. I don't want to be walking around with 10,000 people. Like, that's too much for me.
What do you think about
Source Dome? Is going to be a lot of fun.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Or I think the open source dome is going to be a lot of fun. If you're a developer or like to do Lightning stuff, it'd be like a fun place to actually like use Bitcoin in real life.
Yeah, I'm sure if you were into that, like that'd be super interesting. Like, I to be honest, am not like very well versed. Obviously, I understand what Lightning is, but I don't understand on a deep level. But I'm sure that would be really cool.
What do you think about the news out of India today that the India National Bank isn't going to ban Bitcoin?
I think Preston Pitch had a really good tweet. He said they realized that they can't ban Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin's going to ban them if they don't lift the regulations. So I think that was very well put.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm looking at right now Ethereum over BTC on TradingView, and it bottomed out at 0.5 at the cycle low here. I'm looking at whether or not it's going to hit another 0.3 to lead us out of this kind of this sell-off. Do you guys track this metric daily as kind of a barometer for where we are in terms of buying and selling?
I'll just say real quick, like, I think the only thing about the Bitcoin, the ETH BTC, is you see like this big. Well, we only have one cycle to look at the history from, but in 2017, Ethereum was similar to how it's been lately. Kind of peaked up on dominance against Bitcoin around midway, and then Bitcoin had a big correction, and then it never recovered from there. I think maybe it's interesting in that sense, but it's not something I keep up with often because it's like I'd rather just focus on Bitcoin because whatever happens with Bitcoin is going to affect that metric anyway.
I feel like all these people who put out these negative articles about Bitcoin are the ones they're secretly buying it while the price is low, and they're trying to make it lower by saying bad things about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all, people talk about how Bitcoin isn't manipulated. It's not. That's just like the longer term price isn't, but on the very short term time frames, Bitcoin is very much manipulated, especially with the derivatives. I mean, it's like, the trade's over leveraged to one side. It's very attractive for, a whale with a lot of ammunition or capital to push the price in the other direction. I think it's kind of underestimated sometimes by the community, like actually how much, whales have effect on the very short term.
Where is everybody in here from? I'm from Tampa, Florida.
I'm from North Carolina.
Brooklyn.
Portland, Oregon.
I'm Portugal.
Vancouver, British Columbia.
San Jose, California.
Yeah. About the news in India, and I think today was a good day for Bitcoin and marathon news as well, and Nigeria, and I think today was some good news and might change the sentiment.
Yeah, I think bit. Like one major kind of announcement or just catalyst to push the price in the other direction. I think we're just kind of in limbo right now, and if we can get one good announcement to kind of push us out of this rage, I think that would draw in a lot of buying because I think there's a lot of money on the sidelines right now. That's we've been in this like 32 to 40 range for a while now, and literally I think traders are just buying support, selling resistance, buying support, selling resistance as we just chop. And so it's like nobody wants to make the first move. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of, can we get another announcement or something like that will kind of catalyze some new buyers to step in, because like there's a shit ton of sell orders at right around 38K, which we were chewing through them for a little while, about an hour or two ago. But there's also a lot at 40K. So I think if we can break through those levels, I think we're looking good. But we're gonna need some outside buying pressure to kind of step in, or money that's just waiting out on the sidelines to kind of step in.
There's a strong resistance at 42, but I think if it breaks through 42, it gets to 50 fairly easy.
Yeah. And a lot of the market is short as well too, so that's something to consider. And I mean, this goes for the downside too. If we break 32K, I'm sure we'll have liquidations to the downside. But if we can break through at 42K level, I think you'll start to see a fair amount of short liquidations that kind of give us another little boost upwards.
People are just scared to buy. They're just scared because they read something that's scary to them, and they're inexperienced. Like, we were all inexperienced at one point when it came to Bitcoin. Like, I remember when it was 18,000 and I sold it at 16 because I thought it was done. But you learn through things like that, and then you just know to hold. But if you're new to it, you're scared because you haven't experienced it before. So I understand why a lot of people are selling.
Yeah, John, and like that's what we've been, talking about the last couple of rooms. I don't know if you've been in them, but we just keep talking about how, it's all the shorter term, younger coins that are selling, and the older participants are scooping up those coins. So yeah, I think you're 100% right. It's people that have been through many of these corrections before. They know this is just a fire sale on BTC right now.
To your point, Will, that was kind of one of my only concerns though, was that exact thing. All of those younger addresses and short term holders that got into the market that all lost their shirt, freaked out and started selling at a loss, and all of those sort of that new blood, so to speak, has all been burned and probably all have a negative look on it now. And so I'm just, I don't know what number that is, but that's just kind of one of my concerns is, we want those kind of people to stay in the market.
Point. I think you want to see, it's good to see that strong hodler base coming in and, holding the wall, if you will, but it's not ideal to not see new market participants because, we're trying to expand, Bitcoin's adoption and seeing the same people buying over and over again. Obviously, that's good for building a foundation for price to grow off of. But I would like to see some newer whales come in. It was kind of I would have liked to see retail, really selling off. It seemed like it was a lot of younger whales, and retail was actually accumulating over the last, it's called 2-3 weeks, which, that's not ideal. Like you want retail to be getting freaked out and selling off. And then you want to see, new whales stepping in, but we didn't see that. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, I agree with you. Usually you have this kind of like dichotomy where the longer term holders are accumulating the whole cycle in the bear market, and then when we get into the bull, they start to sell off into strength as the shorter term speculative money comes in. But right now we're seeing this divergence where the longer term holders are actually accumulating like in the middle of a bull market, while the shorter term holders are selling off, which has only happened in 2013 before in the middle of a bull market during that we're in.
That's fair. And when that FOMO starts to set in, when the price starts to rip, they're coming back anyway. They're not gonna they're gonna be like, oh shit, I'm not missing out this time, so they're gonna come back. But yeah, that's fair.
I read some articles before Memorial Weekend started, and they were like, "Oh, Bitcoin is going to crash during the holiday weekend," and like in reality, it just goes up. I don't believe anything that's written. Ever since the Trump presidency, they just write whatever they want and expect people to believe it.
Yeah, Menard, right? That dude said that, like, careful this weekend. Like, I don't know what he was thinking.
He was buying it. He's a shell. He's going to have a guy that's buying. That guy is buying. He's a paid shill like Peter Schiff. Yeah.
Will, you might have already spoken to this, but do you have any evidence of big institutions scooping up right now that there's a big dip?
Well, we know there was a shared article about anonymously, I think on Medium it was, about the cost of FUD pieces that could be circulated through various channels, ranging from like $150 to like, $10,000 or something like that. So it's not surprising that these larger institutions would want to circulate FUD to drive the price down and reinforce that fear reflexivity amongst various traders for the larger institutions to come in and scoop up sats at a lower level. Right. I mean, so that's, as long as the average person is hodling, it's not going to be a problem. But it's those people at the margin who get spooked and try to sell, that where the price becomes very vulnerable, and the larger institutional players are able to come in very, very cheaply.
Yeah. Hey, Doc. First time speaking, so you guys bear with me. But I work for a fund, and I get some emails forwarded to me from the guy who's our CIO. He's a high net worth individual. And one guy I follow is Tom Lee.
Oh, man.
I'm sure you've heard of him. And he sent a piece this morning on the institutional topic that was saying that he thinks that this news was basically the end of the FUD for Bitcoin this cycle. Again, an institutional research piece, and it's, fancy, high cost. And he was calling for basically the bottom.
What's up with we're just listening in on a conference call right now.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, JK, I think
They're talking Bitcoin.
first of all, like, I'm not seeing any new whale entities like on the blockchain. Call it like, over 1,000 BTC. And then also the 100 BTC to 1,000 BTC cohort is trending down too. So to be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of institutions. But what I will say, like, going off of your point towards the end there, the further down we go, statistically, like the higher likelihood of bounce up higher becomes. So, I think like everything is pretty much saying buy at this point. It's just, we're finding a bottom. We're kind of in this reaccumulation. So I think anybody who's waiting for 15, 20K, I think that's kind of crazy. And there's this guy James who was up here talking the other night about some institutions who had limit orders set to like 15 to 20K. But I just don't see that possible. I think if we get down to the low 20s, there's gonna be so much demand that and the thing is, he was saying the institutions that have those limit orders, if we show a solid break to the upside, then they have no problem buying that confirmation. Because I was talking about some of the traders. I think it's a similar train of thinking where obviously they want to buy as cheap as possible, and if we break 30K, there's a very high likelihood that just from a price structure standpoint and kind of volume on chain standpoint, 20K is kind of the next level, because dude, we teleported through 20K going to 30K.
Yeah,
after we
absolutely.
broke that.
And you see the holes there in price at 20K, Will. So from a volatility perspective, risk adjusted perspective, from institutional aspect, we know that every 10 years Bitcoin returns whatever 10,000%. So if it does fall another 20% from here, they know that it has 85% corrections. Well, we're at 50% right now, almost. We've hit that. So if we drop another 10, 20%, they know that the risk-adjusted return there is they're at the bottom. The last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to turn my mic off for you guys, quit hogging it, is the only other tweet I saw today that I really loved was from Documenting Bitcoin. And it said, Paul Tudor Jones told Druckenmiller, 85% of the people who bought Bitcoin at 17,000 back in 2017 didn't sell it by the time it hit 3,000 in 2020. So we're a bunch of religious zealots. No one on this is going to sell their Bitcoin. So to your point, we're going to have a higher low than we've had in previous cycles. That's all I got.
Yeah, 100%, man. I saw that tweet. Thanks for coming up, JK. Just to go off what you're saying, I can see that as well. Like I was posting something about this like maybe 2 days ago, but almost 77% of supply is a liquid. So it's basically like held by an entity that has a very low likelihood of selling. And then, even now we're looking just in terms of like the last time coins moved, almost 60% of coins haven't been moved year to date, after we've had these crazy gains. So, yeah, I think, that hodler base is just growing, and the amount of new addresses too that I'm seeing that are coming in and buying at least, having at least 2 inbound transactions, but they've never moved any coins out of their holdings. That cohort has been just exploding throughout, the last 6 months. So I completely agree with you, and I couldn't have worded it really any better that this hodler base is just growing and growing over time, and that's what's setting the floor along with the energy cost.
Did any of you guys see the tweet by Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad author? He said he would start buying more Bitcoin at 27,000. There's a strong wall at 30,000. I don't think it goes lower than that, at least not for a long time.
Yeah, I was looking at the order books this morning. There's a lot of buys under 33K. And mind over matter, I sent that to you this morning in DM. This is what I'm talking about. There's like this heat map of all the buy and sell orders at the different levels, and 33K. There's a lot, and then 32K, 31K, 30. I mean, like the whole way down. It would take a lot of selling pressure to get through that, and I would be very surprised if it broke through that low 30 resistance. I think support, that's really strong there.
So, Will, I have a question about India. So I was in India for 6 weeks actually in Feb and March, and everybody was sitting on the sidelines and they wanted to get into the market. And this RBI news is much bigger than what it looks. My question is that I think market is too desensitized to the news part. So will just India news itself will lift Bitcoin up, or the demand has to go up, which probably will take few days when everybody lines up, because the Indian media is going to cover it. Everybody is going to load it into their mobile phone, and that's how the whole evangelism happens there with through all these talk shows and everything else there.
Do you think because India is already a country that's like really into gold, that Bitcoin's like a really good place for them to save, like that? It's just something that they're used to.
I think, people save in gold, but I think the folks who want to get into Bitcoin are the new age folks. So most of the savings in gold traditionally have been done by women, but here you're talking about new age kids who want to, who have mobile phones and they want to buy Bitcoins.
And India is also a country that has like already kind of like a digital rupee, don't they? And so maybe just like an easy transition for them. So it could be a really big market. They already did like their digital transition of their currency. So I'm pretty sure everybody has like electronic currency there on their phone. So I wonder if Bitcoin would just be like a very natural thing for them.
Well, they don't have the electronic currency yet. They have been talking about it, but yes, everybody has a mobile phone, and yes, a lot of things which are being talked about in America today, that people can get their social security payments through their mobile wallet and all. Yeah, those things were done in India a few years back. So yeah, so for everything is enabled. There is no CBDC in India yet, but the infrastructure is enabled to make that happen.
I had a question, and I needed a little bit of advice.
What's up, man?
So I'm looking at doing like an unchained loan, or like a Bitcoin-backed loan, and like just this price volatility down has been just really pushing my cushion for my collateral and everything like that. So I was wondering, like, what do you would think is a good like strategy for paying off my loan? Do you think I should get the loan and wait, and like, or do you think it would be a smarter move for me to like actually sell some coin now, get a smaller loan, so like I don't have to use so much collateral?
Hey, yeah, I can answer that. So yeah, DOT's looking good. I mean, you're getting a little bit of a relief rally or relief sell-off right here, because we closed above the 23 zone. It's looking bullish actually. I don't expect this weakness to last that long. You know, Bitcoin's kind of trending down, you know, from where it closed today. So, but it's not selling off. It's just trending. I don't think this is anything to be worried about. If it does dip back down, I mean, I would be buying again. But it was significant that we closed above this $23 level. That was the same level we talked about on the last live stream, if you recall. It's the daily candle close over here on February 8th. And what's so bullish about this, the reason why I'm bullish, is because what did DOT do after February 8th? It went to $50 within 12 days. You know, or 41, sorry. 42. So that's what I'm looking for here as well, is another significant move to the upside. Just on technicals alone, without any fundamental. You're going to get a cross here on the MACD, the daily, a bullish cross within the next 24 hours. So if this thing dips down to 22, it's a major buy, but I don't see it getting down there. If it does, you know, yeah, I'd be putting in buy orders. Because you can see here in the next 24 hours, we're definitely going to get a bullish cross. And then that's just going to continue some momentum to the upside, right? And then you're going to get to these EMA ribbons on the daily. So we've already, if we take a look at the 4-hour, we're going to get a cross in the 20 here in the next, I'd say 12 to 16 hours. We're going to get a cross of the red 20 above the 34. So this is on a 4-hour. We already have bullish crosses on the hourly. So in the hourly, we've got the red is above both the 55 and the 34 on the EMA, which that's bullish. And then obviously the MACDs on the 1-hour and the 4-hour are bullish. So we take a look here at the 4-hour. See, we had a MACD cross in the 4-hour candle, which is super bullish. So the next thing to switch to bear to bull is going to be the daily MACD, and then the 4-hour EMAs crossing above those, and then also the daily EMAs would be next, which I expect the 4-hour EMA cross to happen, you know, in the next 16 hours. Would you buy more at this point, or a chance to see 21? I mean, with the news that's out, I mean, you've got some pretty bullish news coming in from India, which I think is pretty big. You've got also some billion-dollar buys coming on, you know, onto Binance. I mean, let's take a look here at the trend line. I'd say you can wait. I don't think it goes below 21, by the way. I don't think we're going to see that again. I mean, I'd be surprised considering that Bitcoin is bullish. You know, we've got a cross in the daily MACD on Bitcoin now. All of a sudden, that's super bullish. So I don't see the fact that Bitcoin is bullish, right, on the daily is a big deal, right? Because this is going to trend higher, which means that PolkaDot's going to trend higher. So the risk is it doesn't get down to 22. Yeah, no worries, Lit. Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can put a limit order in at 22 if you're going to, I'm not sure where you are. If you're in the US and you're going to go to sleep here in the next hour, you know, put a limit order in. Wake up super early, though. Wake up at like 7 before America wakes up, you know, before America gets going. And then, you know, if the market hasn't moved by then, go ahead and buy. Because you're going to get some liquidity pouring into this market by tomorrow. Tendency. Okay, cool. Yeah, so put a limit order in at like, you know, I'd say 22. And then wake up early. You know, if the market hasn't moved yet, then go ahead and buy, because I think there's going to be tons of liquidity coming in. Because remember, today was a holiday in the US, so on holidays there's no one trading. But liquidity is going to come into the market tomorrow. Everyone's going to get back to their desks. They're going to get back to their trade stations, and they're going to start buying. I think this news from India is significant. So I leave it up to you if you want to get a little bit of a better entry. Yeah, you can do either way, buy now or put in a limit.
Even if you have to initially get the loan via BTC, where you can still not
All
sell
these
BTC.
bears coming in on this crypto panic site.
Like
Paid shills.
The different loan structures. Like, I mean, it's not like a long-term solution, but like that would like keep you from ever having to sell, any BTC.
And that'll get the interest rate down, and that way I can keep the loan for longer.
Yeah, that's a good.
Sam, you do realize you're asking this question
That's a good
to
buy
a group
lit.
of Bitcoin maximalists. Like, they're not going to tell you to sell your Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would look at it.
Yeah, we've got this
Actually,
daily.
real estate is. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's not tangible. It's not real. It very much is real. I would consider myself pretty much a Bitcoin maximalist. But
Bitcoin.
you talked about house here. It's say Bitcoin drops to 20K. Like, how much regret would you have? And if there's even 10% regret, I would say you should be selling some Bitcoin to buy that house.
It's significant.
That's my view. Like, real estate is real. You can
and
live
we're
in
like
it.
trading rate at it.
It's yeah, this is why you buy Bitcoin.
I drew this
time
like days
preferences.
ago.
Like,
I think
you
it's
do it to save money over time, which you obviously achieve. Yeah, that's how I would look at it too.
Yeah, I just want to jump in quickly, Sam. How much? Because one question you asked was if would it be a smarter way to sell a little bit right now rather than sell later to save on the amount of coins that you end up selling. How much, or if you could give like a rough amount, how much of a loan are you taking? Because really, if you just wait till August, I definitely feel like that if you have the option to wait till August, you're going to see that you'd only have to sell way less for a traditional house loan. Just taking the average price of a house in my head, in terms of coins that you'd have to sell.
That's why I think I just need to get the loan now, don't sell any, and then just really hope that it doesn't drop down to 20K. And then if necessary, do anything I need to do to defend the position. Because it's like most of my collateral in order to defend that 20K mark.
Can you not pay off the loan if it does drop down to 20K? Like, what's the issue? Like, you sound like you're fairly young. Like, why do you need to service this?
I can always service. I can always like pay off principal or deposit more Bitcoin. But like, I guess my Bitcoin only supports down to 20K.
As long as you're not going to put yourself in any financial distress, and I would say you should do that over a long period of time. As long as you can pay it off, regardless of what the price of Bitcoin does over the next 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, however long you want to hold it for, then yeah, don't sell your Bitcoin. But if you will need that money, or you will need to sell that Bitcoin to help you pay that loan.
Yeah, this 39K level is important too for Bitcoin.
That's a sensible financial thing too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell a little bit, sadly. But like that's why I've been like stacking so freaking hard for the last 4 years to do this, and then still have a bunch left over.
Well, yeah, if you can sell some small positions, say 10%, because you absolutely have to, that makes sense. It is in place at some point to, it is a kind of a, if you want immediate beyond liability.
Let's do a fractal here.
Life obviously gets in the way. So, I mean, if you have to sell a small percentage, maybe that makes sense. And maybe if it's like 10%, it makes sense. But as long as it's not like, 50 or something crazy, like more than half your position. Then
I would personally wait until the market cools off and we see where we're standing, and then go from there. But I feel like you shouldn't sell anything until end of year. But that's my personal take.
It's also kind of hard to fully answer your question without knowing what kind of house you're buying. Like, not all real estate is a great investment, but some real estate is a fantastic investment. So without fully knowing all the details, it's quite difficult to answer the question. But yeah.
No, thanks for the help. I think in general, what I'm gonna do is like get the loan, wait maybe 3 months before I start like unloading like a small 10%
or even like consider
of my stacked position, and then like sell consistently week over week because like I have too much emotion, so I'm gonna like sell the wrong price and then just eventually pay it off with some just as little pain as possible.
just on that plan, that's a great plan. Just if there was one time where you should probably just wait 3 months before you sell your first coin, now would be the time, because just from the charts from what I'm looking at and just overall on this talk, I don't understand why everyone is a little down, because this is probably the best time for everyone to stack up, and not trying to blow too much hope in here, but just looking at the charts, I really do see by August, September, all of us laughing at our stacks, because I don't see us staying this low. I really don't understand why everyone sounds a little bit down. I've been so happy looking at this chart, and I am in no way concerned of it going to 20K, 25K. I don't think it's going to get to 27K. It's like, I'm really thinking the first week of June, we're going to see this back up into 40s and then continue upwards.
I think there's a massive shakeout. So if everyone's feeling this kind of sentiment, I think it's for a reason, to shake you out. So like he said, I feel we should wait till maybe September if you're considering selling anything, just because of how the market went up so fast. And still here at the bottom right now. I think I agree with him. Yeah, it went up really fast. You guys know that.
It goes by slow, but you know we're all in this for the long term, so I'm not even worried that it dropped 50%. I don't care.
Yeah, especially because of the way it went up so fast, like you said. How about regarding I think Bitcoin's holding strong at the 30K levels. If we do see any lower, I feel 28, like just because of the order books, as the one guy was talking about earlier, just so massive, you need so much sell pressure, and I don't know what kind of idiot would start selling so much at these levels, you know. That's kind of my common sense of all this.
It just had the first peak. They usually have 2 peaks each halving cycle, so the second one.
Yeah, and just the way it topped, it doesn't make sense to me how it's over, you know?
I'm telling you, housing is a bubble right now.
Huh?
You think housing is a bubble right now?
I think housing is definitely a bubble right now. I would definitely consider waiting on a house, because I feel like if anything, buy land. That would be the best.
Okay. Do you think land is the bubble? Because all these people that like fled the major cities, and they're like, running for the hills.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, if you're considering to buy a house, you consider, land before anything. I feel like it's cheaper too. I don't know much about real estate, but from what I do know, I feel like it's better to, buy the land and make it yourself.
It's just which bubbles are just likely to pop the most. I would say real estate is like very unlikely to collapse if you buy the right house. You just got to make sure you find some land that somebody else will get.
Currency is bubble.
Yeah.
But the currency is we're paying everything that the money is because fiat currency is up. The denominator of everything.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just a piece of paper that's supposed to represent gold, but in reality it doesn't. All the gold in the world is 10 stories on a tennis court. That's all the gold. So they can't pay us all with our fiat currency. They can't give us gold for that.
Yeah. I agree with that. So I wouldn't even consider selling anything. I think it's just not the right moment. And if you're gonna panic, I would panic maybe around August, September, see what the market sentiment's like. Because I just feel like the way it went down so quickly, it makes everyone bearish right now. So I think that's exactly what the market wanted to do to all of us, to whoever is holding. So I think, you should give it at least 3 months before even considering it.
Yeah, I think that's right. And to the earlier point, I actually think real estate is one of the most likely aspects of the whole risk on trade collapse. And the reason is because there's kind of 2 kind of compounding factors at play with real estate. One is just the price appreciation of real estate over the last 40 years. So it's been kind of the quasi for a value for boomers for 40 years. So we've seen that this price appreciation, because there's the only other place where you can store value during that time period. Now the thing is, differentiate a real store of value with a true scarce asset in a limited supply. Like they can't both be a store of value, right? So like there can't like Bitcoin and real estate can't both win at the store of value at the same time. So that's so I think it's gonna pivot to BTC, but the other piece of real estate too is that so
These shorts are hilarious, man. They're such donkeys.
Is backed by the agency. So like even if it's originated, it's kind of sold off to one of the GSEs, Freddie, Fannie, and then sometimes Jennie Mae or like these CMOs. But the interest payments on like so that they're bundling spots and then sold. So if those go into a default because or just like 5% of them default, then those bonds go into one. So you're having kind of two things going on at once with real estate that's going to have really downward, at least real pressure on them. And obviously, look, they did pick forward and keep buying every agency bonds and completely backstop the whole agency bond market. But when you combine those two factors, real estate looks like to me the worst trade overall, like even worse than equities right now. So, like to me, and Sam, obviously, do what you think you got to do. I do nothing about the personal situation, but just my general thesis is that real estate is the worst trade of any major asset class right now, because of the underlying price appreciation that that in nominal terms is going up like 20x for no reason other than boomers have used it as a store of value, and B, kind of the underlying bond structure where just small default rates would cause just effectively kind of cascading bankruptcies throughout the banks.
I disagree with that slightly. I think real estate needs to be categorized into two different types of real estate. Like you've got desirable real estate and non-desirable real estate, which is what mostly what first-time home buyers are buying. I'd say these guys are going to get stung a lot. But I mean, if you buy a house, it goes down in value 50%. Like you still got a house, you're still living in your house. It's not like owning equity where one day you're planning on selling it. A house is a very different investment. As long as you buy a house that you can live in forever, there's no real issue. And Sam, if you're still listening here, if you are buying real estate, just make sure you're buying something that you know you would be comfortable living in for the next 20, 30 years if the housing market did go to shit. And if you're not comfortable with that, I would say you're buying your house too early. Keep your Bitcoin. Don't buy yet. Just wait until you can afford something much more desirable.
I also think the world isn't really stable enough to really know what's going to happen, a month or two from now. So I think a lot can just happen in less than a year. We've all seen what happened with COVID. So I really don't think it's the smartest thing to buy a house right now. But like what he said, is you have a different case. So
yeah, I'm in a pretty competitive market. It's like Denver, Colorado, so it's just booming right now. So it's kind of my last chance to actually be a homeowner out here.
Yeah, if you waited like 5 to 10 years, man, I would be willing to bet that you could be a homeowner for the fraction of the real costs that you pay today. Obviously, do what you think's best. You know your personal situation way better than I do, right? Like I met you online 10 minutes ago. Like my personal advice, it would be that I know that how the math kind of bond markets work, right? And specifically the real estate bond markets, and I know what those look like, and I don't see any sustainable way where it holds up, and where it does hold up is the fact that we backstopping the agency bond market, and if it backstops the agency bond market, then the kind of the risk on it's going to pump Bitcoin more than anything. So I've got like a thread on this I can put down later today, and I'd be more than happy to if you want to DM me about why I don't like just the specifics of the math, but again, obviously if you have personal preference for it, there is technically some security in having something you can live in. I don't see that as an investment thesis, but again, there is personal factors that I have no idea what the situation looks like. So in that regard, maybe you should get forward with it. I'm talking from purely a math and investment thesis.
Also, I think another way you should look at it, if with all these comments, is if the house is really that nice for you and you feel like it's it's worth it. I don't think you should even look at it as an investment because you're going to be a Bitcoin holder or forever how long you hold. So I think regardless, your money will go up eventually, even if that means your house won't appreciate. But I feel like you have to really get the right house, and if you really like it, you shouldn't care if it's going to depreciate or appreciate. That's the way also I look at it.
Yeah, my argument for buying a home is that we're actually getting it built from like a builder. Like that's the way to do it these days because like you don't have to do a big bid, you don't have to do a bidding war with people. You can just get the price you want. Close in Denver.
But you are getting a little bit of sell-off in Bitcoin right now, so we almost hit 22, but we didn't.
Cover the difference in terms of cash. So like that means like you're basically paying like someone else's like principal on their loan, and like that's just like cash that could be more Bitcoin.
I think that kind of changes the narrative since now you're telling us that you're kind of building the house. I feel like that's a lot better than like you said, bidding and stuff with other people because the market or whatever it's kind of in a bubble. Housing market. So I think you're on the right footsteps. I don't think you're wrong. And like you said, it's a necessity. So either way, you're going to be living in that house. And at that point, I feel like Bitcoin should save you 5 to 10 years from now from if your house doesn't depreciate.
Sam, can I ask you? Do you have like a wife and kids?
Just a wife.
Just a wife.
Might touch here on the hourly EMA, which is 21.97.
Saying about like
21.96.
BTC per week after like once you've made the initial down payment, it doesn't make any sense to me to sell like after that like okay if you have to sell some certain amount of down payment makes sense but like after that like the rest of the payments should be made with fiat liabilities right like or with fiat cash inflows. So like whatever your fiat cash inflows are because otherwise you're just your stack of what's gonna be, your kind of lifeboat is
Set up one order there and then another order.
In the scope of QE to infinity, I feel like
21.89 on the 4-hour. Looks like we might test the 34 hourly EMA at 21.89.
Bubble, so I mean, pricing everything in fiat's not the best way of doing it.
Yeah, you got a point. We were talking about this yesterday, man. If you measure every asset class, not even dollars, but against
Yeah, it does. It does depend on BTC, but depending on what BTC does, if it continues to go lower, DOT may test here and hold, right? Yeah, obviously if BTC just dumps hard, then yeah, DOT's gonna fall too. But if there's continued weakness, maybe DOT just comes down here and tests and comes back up. But it's looking like Bitcoin's bouncing back.
So I just want to say good advice, everyone. One other thing to consider is that if you need the house and you need to live in it with your wife, I would probably do it.
Yeah, see how Bitcoin, it went through your 20 EMA, only for a little bit, right?
You can take government money for the house and keep that maximally leveraged at a very low interest rate and just pay that with fiat and then pump all of your excess money out.
Yeah, you notice how Bitcoin came here to test it and it was just bought up quickly. These are bears that are trying to scare longs right now, by the way. It's a bunch of bullshit. But you can see the bulls aren't taking the bait. They're buying it up. Yeah, you'll notice them. I don't know if you guys use Crypto Panic, but there's a ton of bears all of a sudden commenting on all these articles, and they just introduce a little bit of doubt on every article, right? They'll say something to basically make you a little bit less bullish, right? But if you're unaware of it, it impacts people who aren't aware of these bears on these forums. And then they put out FUD, right? So they seed with these comments, and then they put out FUD, and then people get scared and they sell. It looks like we're bouncing back here. Looks like we're bouncing back on Bitcoin. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Lit. It really is. It really is. Yeah, you're right. Let me take a look at the RSI. I'm just taking a look at the MACD delivery. Good to look at too. Good thing with DOT is DOT has bullish divergence on its RSI. That's why I like it a lot. And you're going to get a cross in the MACD on the daily and DOT here in the next 24 hours. Let's take a look. Oops. RSI. Yeah, the RSA is looking pretty good here on Bitcoin in the daily. It's good. Yeah, I got a trend line here. So it looks like we've broken the trend line, the downtrend on Bitcoin. Or you're saying a November 19 trend line, yeah. I had a pretty badass trend line actually from the beginning of the bull market. I'll show you. I think we touched it actually. So we do a trend line from say here, and I'll zoom in to get a closer look. No, it wasn't there. I think it was here maybe. No, I don't remember what it was, but it might have been on a 4-hour channel. November 2019, March 2020. Maybe November 19. Oh, on RSI, yeah. Something like that. Yeah, it looks like we sold off here as oversold, and then you bounced off it here on the 31st, which was good. And then you're moving higher, so it's looking like we're going to get some pretty big upside here. Something like that. Like this, could have a big June, July. Yeah, that's a good order there, Lit.
Still a little shaky on Bitcoin. Yeah, short term, nothing crazy. Yeah, Eli, that's a good point. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Let's see if we have a buy signal yet on the hash ribbons. We do, but take a look. Not yet. We're getting there. We're almost there on the hash ribbons. So if you take a look, these blue hash ribbon signals, look what happens to price after, right? This was just the most recent one. We had a blue buy hash ribbon signal here, December 2nd. December 2nd, price went from here to here, 300% move. So let's just say we get a blue signal here, right? A buy signal here at 36, and then do a 300% move. 268. We're back at, we're at 135K, which, we could hit by September, right? It's inside by Pitchfork, or we could hit it even, here in August, and then have a dip, and then, another blow off top in November, December. Who knows, but it's in the cards. Yeah, I'm mostly a long-term holder, Eli. But right now, I like DOT a lot, so DOT's my biggest holding right now. I'm super bullish on DOT. I don't know if you've heard my fundamental thesis on it, but basically, DOT's coming out with parachains here in the next 48 to 72 hours. They're going to announce the unstaking, which is essentially the last domino to fall. And once that occurs, you've got a 7-day unstaking period. And everything else, that's all superfluous. Once they've announced the unstaking, it's see you later, alligator, right? So I think we're gonna move higher in the technicals here. We're already in the, we're testing the 0.5 fib zone here right now. So we're gonna come up here. The MACD daily is gonna cross here. It's gonna be a bullish cross. That's gonna happen in the next 24 hours. You're gonna move above this 0.5 fib zone. And then you start taking out these EMAs, right, on the 4-hour and the daily. Once you start taking that out, it's, you're going to range bound here. And then when the announcement comes from Gavin, boom. See you later, alligator. We're moving from 100, from 1,000 transactions per second to 100,000, overnight in parachains. It's a monumental shift. Yeah, we do have buy signals on the hourly lit and the 4-hour. We have tons of bullish momentum already occurring on the hourlies. The next thing to drop is going to be the MACD bullish crossover, which will happen in the next 24 hours. Damn, Eli, very good. Yeah, that's right, Lit. You're going to get a lot of money moving into DOT. Yeah, you're going to get a ton of money moving in. Parachains will be reliably, we'll get the announcement to unstake your Kusama and PolkaDot in the next 48 hours. Once that occurs, it's 7 days to the live auctions of parachains. So once they announce the unstaking, it's effective already, right? So right now they just announced, let me show you guys. They announced the statement update
of the shell parachain, right? That was the last thing that they needed right here. This guy posted Donnie Big Bags. This is the final item that was supposed to get checked off before the auctions go live. And this was announced by Gavin. So it's not like some random guy on GitHub. Gavin Wood announced it. Yep, anytime, man. Anytime, Eli. Statement is basically it's the upgraded shell parachain. It's where you can start launching stablecoins, NFTs, and any token you want. It's going to be massive. When parachains goes live, it's just going to be insane. It's going to be literally insane. $150 is a lot. It's going to be a lot, man. That's going to be enough for a big bag at the end of the cycle. Yeah, it looks like DOT's headed back up. Bitcoin's headed back up too. Oh yeah, the other major bullish thing, by the way, lit. I think I mentioned earlier, but we closed above $23 on a higher time frame support. Just so you know, Eli, that $23 close on a daily on February 8th, the price moved from $23 to $42 over the next 12 days. That's why we just closed above 23 on the daily. If you look here. Here's yesterday's close price. You can see in the top left, $23.30. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. That's right. Yeah, this time frame close was really, really crucial. I was on a live stream earlier with Lit Dog, and I told him there, I said, if this closes above 23, this is going to be massively bullish. And lo and behold, it closes above 23. At the time, the price was at like 21 or something. So it was funny. Good support in the RSI here on the daily too. You're just going to move higher. And by the way, I like to combine techniques, right? So I took this Pitchfork Analysis, right? So this is at the start of the bull run before DOT took off. Then you go to your high and then your recent low, right? And that gives you your Pitchfork projection path. So obviously we've sold off here. Now you're moving back higher. Your heart line is kind of the median zone where you head to after a major sell-off, just so you know. So it's kind of indicating $40 is our next, the next price target, immediate term. And what I like about this Pitchfork is it gives you a rough guide to where the price could be at the end of the cycle. And here's where DOT could be by December. $1,293. Well, 1301. Yeah, 1301 is where I'm projecting. Oh yeah, Eli, it's absolutely undervalued. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the main advantage, and I don't badmouth any projects, but the main advantage is that your layer one, they call it layer zero, but essentially your layer one solution that's going to do 100,000 transactions. You don't need a scaling solution like Ethereum does, which adds complexity for any, you know, dApp developer that wants to build on top of Ethereum substrate, because now you have to deal with two chains, you know, layer 1 and layer 2. It's very complex. It's not easy. Whereas with DOT, you're just using DOT. There is no layer 2. It's going to scale to 1 million transactions per second, which is, it's faster than Visa. Visa does 60,000 TPS at its max. DOT is going to do 100K out of the gate, scaling to 1 million. Yeah, Eli, I agree. Easily 20 trillion. Yeah, for total market cap. Yeah. You could get Bitcoin at 8-9 trillion, and then, you know, the altcoins, the rest could carry the weight to 20. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, we could see, so this would put DOT, you know, roughly, you know, almost, you know, 800-900 billion, a trillion, but it's not, it sounds crazy, but it's not crazy because there's so much you can do with this. It's faster than centralized organizations. It's not, this is a technological breakthrough that no one is pricing in. Will there be issues along the way? Yeah, but they'll get over it. They'll build through it, right? You'll probably get some dips and corrections along the way, right? You're going to get some crazy movement here along this pitchfork, but you're going to get some great upside here, major upside here in the near term when it's announced. And you've got auctions rolling out left and right? There's 100 auctions. There's 100 slots on DOT and Kusama, so there's 200 total that can basically build on top of their network. And they have to bid. That goes to an auction. So, you know, projects have to bid to get those slots. And it's a minimum of, I think, 50 million DOT, something like that. Or, sorry, a million DOT, something like that, just to get an auction on DOT. No go for PDEX. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder what happened with PolkaDot. There are a couple other DeFi projects on DOT. Actually, a lot. They're appearing every day. Akala is one. This guy. DeFi hub of PolkaDot. And then I think PolkaSwap is another one, right? PolkaSwap. This is another one. Maybe not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, PolkaSwap's a DeFi project. So that's pretty cool, man. Like, look at this. Look at the user interface. I mean, this is already, you know, up to par of what you would look, you know, for in terms of high quality. I mean, this looks like Uniswap to me. Oh, by Sora. This is a coin that is being hyped by Chico Crypto. Yeah, good, probably a good coin. It's from Japan. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe, maybe that they'll go on the auction schedule still. So maybe they didn't get a grant, but maybe they find outside investors, right, to invest in PDEX. That might be an opportunity because I don't think you need the grant as long as you have the money to get on there. Phala, I've heard of this one. Phala.
These interests are very wealthy.
There's another one that someone mentioned to me the other day. What was it called? Tetsi Network. I think it's a PolkaDot project. No, maybe not. Does anyone know the Oracle network on PolkaDot? Yeah, that's right, Eli. Yeah, basically what I think's happening right now are the whales have been accumulating and keeping things quiet because they want to buy here cheaply, right? And no one's talking about PolkaDot, and it's interesting how no one's talking about it. This is the largest upgrade in technological history of any cryptocurrency. No one's talking, which is even more bullish, right? When people are more shocked about something because they weren't expecting it, there's a higher upside move. Phala has all checked off with Kusama. Yeah, let me take a look at this one. What is Phala? Global Confidential Compute. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I love anything that's cloud-based. There was another coin that launched. I forget the name. I think it's called Siri Network, but it's cloud-based, and it was like a big deal. Siri Network. These guys. And it's also cloud-based too. But obviously, I'm bullish on anything with PolkaDot. So this is something I'm gonna have to look into. Thanks for mentioning it. Yeah, there's just so much activity coming to PolkaDot. Like everyone here, you got Akala, which is the DeFi network I was just mentioning to you guys. IOSG Ventures, PolkaDot, Kusama, Parity, which is the parent company of PolkaDot. Okay, they've been around for a while. This is awesome. I like seeing stuff like that. It's not just a fly-by-night, new shop in the town. Moon River. Yeah, let me take a look at that one. I've heard of this one too. Moon River. And Moonbeam too is another one. Moon River is part of Moonbeam, I think. Like Moonbeam owns them, I believe. Okay, so they're going to do an ICO. Yeah, Moonbeam Network. Moon River. Solidity smart contracts on Kusama. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's badass. And it's going to be the smart contract system, one of them, right? So the cool thing with PolkaDot is they didn't choose a specific smart contract, which makes it super easy for anyone to write dApps on PolkaDot. You don't have to use the language that they built into the network. You can use whatever you want to connect to PolkaDot. It's so genius. Yeah, Moonbeam. Moonbeam's good. I've heard of them. Glimmer. The future is multi-chain. Yeah, see, they all have the same ideology, right? Whereas Ethereum is basically most coins, right? They're all their own chain in reality. So Polkadot's taking the most interesting route. It's basically trying to become Web 3.0, which is what they've been saying from the beginning. Polkadot's essentially going to be Web 3.0 in my view. It's super fast, 100,000 transactions per second. Anyone can connect to it. Everyone's going to want to connect to it because it's super fast. I mean, this is going to be really interesting the next 6 months in Polkadot. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We just posted something here, May 27th. Moonbeam Alpha Testnet is upgraded to V8. So it looks like all these projects are going to be ready when Polkadot goes live with auctions. That's really good. Really, really good to see. I like this Phala network. See, they've already got their slot auction set up. So Kala is going to be their parachain.
This is pretty cool. Let's see what the technology is like. Phala network as a confidentiality layer for Web 3.0 developers. Yeah, this is some sort of engineering code thing, so that's cool. Or trust execution environment is a special hardware component isolated from the rest of the system with independent registers, cache, and encrypted memory area. Its operation is completely independent of the operating system. Virtual machine monitor, BIOS, and other core components separate TEE has limited functionalities, but Phala combines T and blockchain to complement the advantages of T and blockchain to form a secure and efficient distributed computing cloud. Yeah, it looks like a pretty smart approach. I mean, this is really technical, but looks, like a smart approach here. AI and healthcare. I mean, they've already got some use cases here. This is really good. Yeah, the main thing is trustless and privacy. That's good. They're focusing on that. This is interesting. This is kind of like DocuSign inside a smart contract. Eli, no, DOT is the coin that I'm just most bullish on right now, and for short-term fundamentals. But I like Chainlink, obviously. I like Uniswap. I like Fetch AI, and a few others. But right now, I think DOT's just, it's just the most bullish to me. And it's Raul Pal, the hedge fund macro guy. It's actually his largest position after Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if that tells you anything, the smart money is in DOT. See how Bitcoin's doing. 36,800, trending back up. Let's take a look at a fib time series. Let's see, let's draw a new one here. Let's say, this one. Fib time zone. Let's go to the top to the bottom. So basically, this time zone is indicating, some major change by June 22nd for Bitcoin, or 23rd. So let me mark that date on the calendar. So it could be that, we're back at all-time highs by then. We'll see. Oh, that's pretty cool, Eli. Real estate getting turned upside down due to yeah. The way I view the macro thematic stuff is anything that's scarce is going to do well in the long run. So, gold, real estate, the scarce real estate, right? Like you can't just buy real estate in the middle of nowhere. But the thing is why buy those things when, in my opinion, crypto is just going to outperform it? Yeah, should you have some? Maybe, but my idea is that crypto is just going to continue to outperform it. I see gold losing some market share to Bitcoin, actually. That's the most likely outcome, in my opinion. You're going to get some gold funds selling, not a lot, right? I don't think gold just crashes all of a sudden, but you'll see some gold funds sell 1 to 2, maybe 5% of their portfolio and diversify into Bitcoin. The major risk to gold, by the way, long term, is when we start mining asteroids, which is a real possibility. There's trillions of dollars worth of gold on these asteroids, and if you mine it, I mean, that's just going to destroy the entire supply dynamic of gold. Or if you mine it on the ocean floor, which is something new they're doing. Eli, how do you, just curious, how do you chat with them? Just on YouTube or on live streams? Or do you message them through
Real Vision. That's crazy. That's awesome, Eli. Yeah, Lid, I think that was a good move. That was a really good move. I actually did the same thing. I sold silver about 9 months ago, something like that, to get into crypto. I mean, I was in it before, but I added to my position. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Do you give him like technical updates and stuff like that? Did you get him into PolkaDot? Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, Ross, he's an awesome dude. I like him. He's super chill. Yeah, look at this. Dot's bouncing back. Even harder than Bitcoin. Let's see what the recent news is. I mean, this is bullish here. Yeah, a country launching a digital bond. You know, no one's talking about this either. I saw that news 2 days ago. No one's mentioning it, but that's huge. You know, you're getting countries launching digital products. China just announced that they want to work with Ethereum and Facebook DM. You know, Facebook DM has 3 billion users, right? Monthly active users. So the fact that China is saying they want the digital yuan to connect to Facebook DM is a huge green light. You know, and they want to work with the U.S. Fed. So I see the space exploding in the next 3 months, crypto in general, because when you get a statement like that from a major central bank, China, and then India is coming on board saying that they're, you know, basically ready for crypto to go, you know, mainstream. Those two announcements alone, plus the U.S. Fed, who also is working with Ethereum, they've been using this project called the Ameribor, where they're launching. It's a digital LIBOR rate. So the fact that you've got these in the background going on, it's going to be really bullish. I mean, I just don't see how anyone can stay bearish in Bitcoin overall right now. It's not smart. And you're going to get this buy signal here on the hash ribbons. And then, you know, as Bitcoin starts to move back up to 40K. And when that occurs, it's just see you later, alligator. Yeah, that's right, Eli. I've noticed that. I'm bullish on XRP too. Yeah, I saw that there's a photo of Brad Garlinghouse standing next to, you know, Christine Lagarde of the IMF. So they're definitely, you know, this SEC thing's it's eventually gonna get dropped, and XRP is gonna take off. So something cool, by the way, about Akala and PolkaDot is the bank. There's a bank that's using this app. It's a private bank in New York. It's got 3 million users. 3 million. And it's like a normal bank, like, you know, JP Morgan Chase, right? So they have 3 million users, and they're launching this app as their central. It's called Hi-Fi, hybrid finance between, you know, traditional finance and digital DeFi. And so they're launching a Kala on that bank. I mean, it's pretty badass. So PolkaDot's got some traction and adoption out of the gate, which is something I like. That's awesome, Eli. The good thing with XRP is typically it's a late cycle coin. So what I plan to do is make profits in some of these other coins, and start buying up a little XRP before it moons again. Because I think you'll know the end of the cycle when XRP is at, like, say, I don't know, $25, $27, and that's going to come at the end of the cycle. Polysign, I have not. It sounds familiar. Yeah, that's right. You'll get a pump to like $8 or something, and then whatever, another sell off in crypto, and then from there you're gonna get a launching to 28 is where I've got my price target for XRP. All the signs to launch. So it's gonna launch 2021 now. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at this. That's interesting. Company received a bank charter, it looks like. Wow, it's pretty crazy. Polysign's got a bank charter already. No one knows about it, at least the general community. Arthur Burrito. Yeah, I'll have to take a look into this a little more. This is pretty cool. Man, it's a big deal to get a charter. Not everyone's got that. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a wrap here. Let's take a look real quick before I sign off. DOT's holding up good, with BTC's even down into the 36.7 range, and DOT's still at 22.45, so it's holding up good. It's in your golden pocket zone here in DOT. Let's take a look at the hourlies. Look at that. That last hour got bought up. See what I said? I said it was going to touch here and then just go back up, and it did. Came down to 22.01, 22.15. It looks like. No, 22.03 was the low, and then it got back up. Yeah, that was good. So we'll see. I think you're going to trend here in DOT, but yeah, you could come down to 22. I think more than likely you're going to come back up. So I think Bitcoin recovers. David Schwartz, yeah, I could see that. Huh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about David. So that's good. That's definitely good to know. Yeah, lit. It's up to you, man. I mean, it's likely we just kind of trend sideways here or up. I don't see a risk of a sell-off. I just don't see that coming. Heading into tomorrow's market open, because pretty much everything was closed today for traders. So you're going to get some liquidity flowing back in, and they're going to price in that news from India and China. So keep the order in, for now. Worst case scenario is, you have to buy in, up here, but that's fine. Yeah, I remember him patenting something. I do remember that. Yeah, good stuff, Lid. All right, guys, I'm gonna head off here. You guys have a good night, and I will try to stream during the week, so I'll let you know. But yeah, just keep watching my Trading View account, and then you'll see if I post any updates. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want, but really Trading View is the main thing I use. So it's just Ichiban Trading View for UI. All right, guys, signing off here. Have a good night, and let's go PolkaDot. Yep. Thanks, Eli. Thanks, Lit. Nice meeting you guys.